Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Heyo! It's Matinee Edition!
Oh.
Welcome to
Matinee Edition.
episode 6 or 7, somewhere in there.
I think it's number 6.
This is Lucas.
This is Jared.
Heyo! And with upgraded soundboard!
Oh, that was a bottle rocket.
That's it.
Yep,
Somebody got
there it
drilled
is.
in the face with a bottle rocket.
So, I mean, it's been another week. It's been another 7 days around at least here. I don't know if the rest of the world's lived 7 days since we last... Well, has it been 7 days since we last recorded, or has it been longer?
I think we're around 7 days. Who knows?
7 days.
7 days.
It's like The Ring.
Or so.
Or The Ring 2. 14 days.
Is that... Wait, seriously?
No, but that would be fucking... That would have made that movie way better, though.
It's the second one. Twice as long.
Twice as long.
Twice as long to live. For all the screens come alive. Or the new one.
Oh, man.
28 days.
20. Did you watch those movies, by the way? Just quick random side note.
Yeah,
28
yeah.
days.
It's Matinee Edition. We're here talking about movies. 28 days later?
28 days later?
Or are we talking about The Ring?
No.
The Ring?
Wait. No, I was talking about... Hold on. So I was talking about The Ring, but then I started talking about 28 days later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
28 days later?
The much better horror movie.
Yes. I've seen 28 days later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Great movie.
How'd you feel about the follow-up, though?
Didn't even watch it.
28 weeks later.
Didn't watch it.
Yeah, it was pretty much it transitioned from being like an actual like cool kind of like artsy almost like a horror movie.
Yeah.
To being like an action horror movie.
Yeah, that's what the vibe I got.
It was like Alien and then Aliens. Not that either of those are like bad, but
Yeah.
the second one was definitely weaker.
It's like
in this
it's
case.
like Aliens to Alien Resurrection.
Ooh, yeah, totally.
Okay.
Sick burn.
Yeah. Okay. Heyo. For those definitely not watching right now in this small room we're in.
In the small.
What the fuck?
I don't know. This is a didgeridoo. Brought to you by water.
Jared just Aqua-Cola.
Brought to you by Aqua-Cola. Aqua Fresca.
Jared just shrugged.
Yeah.
So let's get on to the real news right now. So let's just start off with a quick rumor. There's not much behind this, but I think it's cool. Unused site URLs on Facebook for potential future Marvel movies.
Oh, okay.
We got Ironheart, Young Avengers, Black Widow, which we know is happening,
Yep.
Eternals, which we know is happening,
Yep.
and I think it's a Dark Avengers as well.
Shit.
Which we wanted to briefly mention this, sort of what our 2 cents would be on Dark Avengers.
Yeah,
which route they'd take.
I mean, I really think that. It'd be awesome if they went like the whole Norman Osborn led Dark Avengers take. They would have to, in the next Spider-Man movie, feasibly find a way of, or in the next like couple random like post-credit movies, find a way of squeezing Oscorp and Osborn into like the canon.
I don't think
it's gonna happen.
If there's gonna be a Dark Avengers movie, I feel like it would be led by the bad guys.
Definitely.
And maybe have like some kind of like pseudo redemption arc.
Yeah, I mean, look at what they did with Thanos. I mean, they really painted him into a sympathetic role.
Yeah, mostly because it was told from his perspective.
Absolutely.
And I think there's potential. Personally, let's just like kick DC's ass one time, beat them at something that shockingly that they did before Marvel. Let's just do a fucking Thunderbolts movie.
Yo.
We already got Thunderbolt Ross in there.
Yeah.
You can throw the Winter Soldier in there. I just mentioned to you before we recorded, there was an old run on the Thunderbolts where Bucky led the team.
Yeah, which I didn't realize. That sounds so fucking cool.
I think it was early 2010s.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up because I would actually love to read that.
Yeah, I feel like that would be more appropriate to do first,
Totally.
especially because like Dark Avengers, there's like fuck all for like setup here.
Yeah, there's absolutely no setup so far, but Bucky is a hugely popular character in the MCU.
Absolutely. I mean, like make all the jokes about like him just being like Steve's buddy and like how they love each other so much.
Dude,
who cares? There was a round of applause when he came through that fucking portal.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I mean, the fight scenes in fucking Captain America 2.
Oh, they're so good.
Are so good
and so fast.
Yeah.
It makes you even more so appreciate that it was those two actors putting in the work and learning how to be that fucking fast with knives.
Totally, man. And it just looked good. The Winter Soldier, just like metal arm and all, just like he just looked fucking spot on.
I feel somebody made a great observation about the Winter Soldier about how like it has the intimidating physique of like the Terminator. It's the closest thing the MCU has to like a Terminator-esque figure. Maybe. Even when
MCU, yes.
MCU. Stranger Things. Even when in Civil War he gets his reprogramming like tripped again, he's not wearing the mask and shit, but he gets stone cold. Yeah. And he's got his mission and he just goes. Yeah. And he kicked everyone's ass. It was fucking Black Panther couldn't keep up with him.
No joke, dude. He just, and like I like the way you put it. He just went, like he got his mission and he was programmed and just like nothing stopped him. He just whatever was in his way, he just plowed away. I think
it's something that I love about that character and is a testament to Sebastian Stan's sometimes unappreciated acting chops. Yeah. Is that when he has a humanity in his eyes that as soon as he becomes the Winter Soldier or like gets brainwashed again or triggered again by Hydra,
he can go dead.
He goes fucking dead-eyed and dead straight. Yeah, and it is intimidating. Yeah, legitimately.
Word.
And so I think that'd be a more effective way to go now. Introduce do a Sinister Six. Totally. Do a do some setup with Oscorp because Osborn would probably be the pseudo leading man there.
Oh yeah, I mean. Yeah, totally.
And then Bullseye, which
everybody wants to see fucking Bullseye, dude. Ever since Daredevil 3, Daredevil season 3,
I know. Which
people really want to see a good Bullseye.
That was a great Bullseye.
He was, man.
He was fantastic.
I missed that show already. R.I.P.
I know. But they'd have to introduce Wolverine's kid. To do it right.
Well, that's what I mean, dude.
There's a lot.
They'd have to introduce Venom into the fucking universe.
I know. Which I mean, we're pretty much there with Venom at least. Yeah.
Feige. He called it.
Make it happen.
He's like, call Feige. Get the rights. Get the rights. You got Feige's number?
Did you see that if Far From Home doesn't gross $1 billion, the rights revert back to Sony?
I don't think that's real though. I heard early on that was a rumor.
I saw that it was tied between Homecoming and Far From Home, which means that it already broke it.
Oh. Well, yeah.
So that Marvel had to make $1 billion within 2 movies on their Spider-Man property.
I figured that was just all hype to try and push it to the limit.
I think so too.
Which they're doing a little bit lately, which I think is kind of desperate.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Hey, Marvel, it's desperation. Smells real bad.
Marvel, this is Sony. Make us money, please.
Make us money.
It's pretty much that, though. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean it is, but I mean you can't forget this though. You don't have these dope ass fucking movies without the money flowing into it, so it's kind of like,
which I mean, it's the jaded cynicism of having our childhood nostalgia pushed onto as hard as it is with all this. Money needs to be money. Yeah, it sucks.
Although I did hear this thing recently that Coco movie. Mm-hmm. What did you see that?
Yeah, I saw Coco. It was really good.
I remember. I don't disagree with that. I just want to say this. I fell asleep while watching it the one time I did.
Yeah, fair enough.
I was just tired. Long day. Put that aside. Yeah. I heard though that was actually that story was based on a family, a real family, and that they didn't actually seem to get any credit or rights or anything from Disney.
I thought I heard about that. Yeah.
Towards that. I thought that was pretty. I haven't looked into it.
Sort of shitty.
It's sort of shitty. So and this is right on the back of hearing a report about the Disney heiress going to Disneyland and doing basically an undercover boss situation.
Shit.
And finding out that she really dislikes the way that Disneyland treats their employees.
Oh God.
And I'm just I'm just painting this picture. We're at Disney.
I'd like to also say
get better.
Maybe 4 years before Coco came out, there was this movie called The Book of Life.
The Book of Life.
And it takes place in a town. There is a son who is being pushed in the direction of being a matador when he really wants to be a musician.
Oh, okay.
And guess what? He goes to the land of the dead, gets the approval of one of his former family members.
No way.
And comes back. The only difference is that there's like this like encroaching force of like they're made to look sort of like Mongols. It's less Mexican culture, more Spanish culture.
Okay.
But they're like made to look sort of like Mongols, and he ends up like fighting them at the end with music.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like way more intense than Coco, but like it's such a fucking coincidence. Even the art style in like when they're dead.
It was also an animated movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
and like the art style in the Land of the Dead. Oh shit. The art style. God damn. Sorry. The art style, even when they're all dead, is very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that can't be a fucking coincidence.
I know.
You know
when Coco came out, I was like, fuck. It's still a great movie.
Yeah.
I think it is better than The Book of Life. But it's like, it's too uncanny of a coincidence.
Yeah, fair enough. Well,
so off. we should probably get back on course here. We just want to have fucking crazy
because now we're just like talking shit about Disney, and like although you can do that a lot.
Oh yeah, really, we should just do a next Matinee Edition, Stranger Things and Disney.
Yeah. Okay. Which brings me to my next point I wanted to bring up. This is on me. We're not talking about Stranger Things today because for like the 4th day in a row, I have not watched Stranger Things. I have not watched the finale of Stranger Things season 3. I started watching with friends. I'm a fucking podcast host of my word. I want to finish.
It's honorable. It's honorable, man.
It's honorable.
Honorable.
Hard H on that one.
Honorable.
Honorable. Anyway, next Matinee Edition, we'll be talking about that for sure.
And then we can do half of it just shitting on Disney. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
So, hey, fuck you, Disney.
But keep giving us Marvel movies.
Yeah, keep giving us Marvel movies, and like
you own those motherfuckers.
Every once in a while, there's some really good movies.
I mean,
I like Pixar too.
There's stuff.
So,
anyway.
You mentioned it's officially been 11 years to today, you said? Since the release of The Dark Knight.
Can you believe that?
Fresh in my mind because I watched The Dark Knight Rises on my plane to Iceland.
Damn.
Slightly less good though.
I've watched The Dark Knight more like times definitely than The Dark Knight Rises since The Dark Knight Rises came out.
The Dark Knight is a fucking classic though.
It is. It is a
fucking
tone.
It is a testament to the quality of that movie that it was like right at the beginning, like the MCU wasn't even on its feet at that point.
No.
It was just starting.
No.
And that movie, people were livid when it didn't get an Oscar nod.
Yeah. Dude,
and fucking Black Panther got an Oscar nomination. I like Black Panther. It's not a Best Picture.
No. I mean, like...
The Dark Knight.
Marvel's made better. Like, Black Panther's an awesome movie. And like the pacing is awesome, the soundtrack's awesome,
Killmonger,
the cast is great.
I feel like you could do a Best Supporting Actor nod for Black Panther.
Yeah,
with Eric Killmonger.
I just think that, like, again, I think that they've also done better movies.
But if that movie is up to that standard, The Dark Knight is surpassing it.
Well, and that's exactly it. Like, The Dark Knight is a far in terms of. I mean, we're talking about Christopher Nolan's like Batman trilogy.
Yeah,
which
from a not just technical perspective, from the get-go, even Batman Begins, from a technical perspective, from a music perspective, from a cinematography perspective, from a practical action perspective, set the bar.
Yeah, it introduced the idea that like you can make a convincing superhero movie, a convincing superhero interacting in the modern world kind of movie.
And I mean, like, I dare say in the real world, like,
absolutely, which is definitely what they did with those movies, man.
Yeah,
they tried to make it as I feel like as realistic as you could possibly make it within the realm of like still Batman, like, you know, coming in like Batman in his I don't know, fucking world, I guess.
But it didn't really feel like that.
Yeah,
especially it was like, yes, there's coincidentally a dude wearing body armor that looks like a fucking bat.
Fair enough. It did feel like more of a coincidence.
And he's sad. He's sad because his family died. And there's
True.
But like, we all got to get to the real call, the piece de resistance of the Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, and that's the thing. So like so Heath Ledger's Joker made a real villain. Like it made this like untouchable real villain. Like somebody who just wanted to see shit turn into chaos. Somebody who wanted to see how far things could be pushed. But somebody that also was doing it in a way that could be fucking done.
He was a terrorist.
Which is what exactly he was a terrorist, which is what struck such a chord, I think, with people, whether they were thinking about it or not going into that.
He was a grounded, like, terrorist-esque figure.
Yeah.
But his motivations and his execution was spot on for the Joker.
Absolutely, because in a way his motivations were unclear.
Exactly.
But you knew that he had that. Like,
it was
that's the weird thing about
so I subscribe to the theory that he is a former soldier, and he was like in the military, and he had like a dishonorable discharge, and he grew to hate the American government because there's that very passionate throwaway line he has about how the government just throws people, messes them up, and sends them back home.
Oh yeah.
And then he's also, it's very much based upon that line, as well as him being like, in the few scenes you actually see him with guns, being super proficient with them.
He does seem to like, there's that scene in the parade where he's part of like the firing squad.
Yeah,
and he does seem to just be like, you know, like he's operating his fucking weapon and his stance fine, but it seems like, I don't know. That's one theory. I have no personal theories on it. I just kind of took that as like, I take it as like a mystery.
There's a beauty to that
the Joker's
as well.
Character. Like, but
even
in
the comics,
that makes sense.
but
that also could be like that throwaway line could be a symptom of the time, which is what I think is I think this movie speaks to, because there's a lot of we're dealing with a lot of kind of like post 9/11.
Yeah, I feel like that was still in like the like it was still in the midst of that.
It really was.
The Patriot Act.
We're just coming down from that right now. Yeah. We're getting into a whole different other realm, but we're just coming off of that. And that was like, I mean, those symptoms of like, you know, fucking the terrorist Joker, the throwaway like soldier line,
and
that's
even towards
to a
the
lot
end
of people going on. Like,
it's
right
understandable.
There,
so. And then even at the end, when it comes to the Patriot Act and like privacy being violated consistently, at the end, when Batman gets his white eyes, I know. We're running on the same wavelength here. Oh yeah, that was an awesome scene, but it really nailed like it was. Batman is the U.S. government in that, and it is for the right intentions.
It's for the right intentions.
It's still sort of fucked up, though.
Absolutely, and fucking Morgan Freeman calls it out.
It's like you are using everybody's phones in Gotham to hunt someone down, and you're using it as like an X-ray vision. Badass as it might be, it's right.
It absolutely violates everybody's privacy.
Yep. I mean, just to be completely blunt.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. There's these undertones. There's these messages that are underneath the surface of that comic book movie.
Which, when that movie came out, I was 10. Like, I watched it.
If I watched that movie when I was 10, that would have blown my fucking face off.
I watched it when I was maybe like around that age. I remember my parents watched it with me, and I took it for what it was, and I watched it as an adult, and I was like, fuck, there's a lot more to this.
Yeah, it's true, man. That movie's incredible. And just, I was talking about this a little bit, but like I remember like just like seeing that for the first time, like watching it in the theater for the first time, and hearing like the sound of like the fucking grappling hook breaking that window at the beginning sequence, and just like that whole like the cadence of that whole sequence, the tone of it all was just set this like atmosphere in the theater.
I think,
and it felt so thick, and like you just didn't know where the movie was going to go from
like,
there.
The beauty of Hans Zimmer's score as well, and then the
marinara, man, this is rich and delicious,
rich and sweet. That paired with the fact that the impeccable sound design. I think of the motorcycle scene.
Oh, shit,
which
yeah.
that fucking the truck flipping over, which was practical, mind-boggling. But they're just like of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
And the gyro bike, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Because it's like gyroscopic wheels.
Incredible fucking sequence.
And is a real motorcycle.
Yeah.
You can ride it if you have one. It works like it does in the film. And it's fucking badass.
Yeah,
what it
real.
is. The I love that movie.
It was just a huge.
It might not be the feat of Avengers Endgame, you know?
No.
Just to throw another amazingly well-received like superhero movie out there.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
Absolutely, it doesn't have the scope of the Avengers Endgame. And that's actually one of the differences right now between, like you could point out, between the MCU and these movies. These movies were great, like stepping stone to what we have now. Yeah. But the MCU, they're in it for the longevity of it all. Christopher Nolan, when he was making those movies, didn't even want to make a third movie.
Yeah,
he was convinced by the spell. Yeah. Like not that movie's like terrible. It's a good movie. It's a way of wrapping up that trilogy. Yeah. But he wanted to like end it on The Dark Knight.
I feel like he could have. I mean? I feel like he could have just left it there.
Yeah, because But anyway, so he didn't want more than that. The MCU is like really in it for the long game. They're playing this
It's more like a comic book universe.
Yeah,
I think the MCU.
But I don't think you would have the MCU or anything that we have now in terms of like the comic book popularity even without Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. Not even the other two movies, just that movie.
I feel like
which you I guess
X-Men, so 1998. Yeah. X-Men. Comic book movies can be made and be decent. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man 2.
Specifically Spider-Man 2, I think.
Yeah, Spider-Man comic book movies can be really good, and The Dark Knight comic book movies can be taken seriously.
Absolutely. I couldn't put it better. Like those three movies and arguably Blade, the first Blade movie.
Oh yeah.
Which really set kind of a tone
comic
for
book movies can be adult.
Well, exactly. Which you have Deadpool now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so those movies, those four movies,
Blade 3 with Ryan Reynolds,
say, are what paved the way for what we have now. And
as some of them have aged very badly, in my opinion.
Definitely, Blade for
X-Men.
Sure. X-Men for sure, but
Spider-Man
the
some regard.
The Dark Knight just gets more delicious with fucking age, dude.
11
years, man.
It's like a good Parmesan.
Ooh,
it's like
it's delicious.
Dude, I was watching. Even watching like The Dark Knight Rises. It's not as good. Still Nolan. He's still a fantastic filmmaker. Sequences are shot virtually the same, but and it has some really good moments. It's not that much of a step up from The Dark Knight. Like, let's be real, but it hasn't aged at all. I haven't watched The Dark Knight recently enough to say that it hasn't aged.
Yeah.
But I'm only assuming because it's so practical heavy. Why do you think Indiana Jones hasn't aged?
No, you see, they fucking straight.
They fucking did everything.
It's
Harrison Ford ran away from a rolling boulder.
Dude, which is so fucking funny if
you think
about it.
When you think of it, and The Dark Knight had fucking Batman riding on a gyro bike in like the Batmobile that was real. And it all looked great.
Yeah.
They killed fucking Liam Neeson. So, amen. They did what very few people have been able to do before.
Fair enough. Just branching off of that, because we've been ranting about The Dark Knight for a while. Because you could just do like you could do 45 on The Dark Knight.
You could do a documentary on The Dark Knight.
Damn fucking straight. But branching off of that, Matt Reeves. I want to slide this in. Matt Reeves, the Batman. I read this rumor that it's currently looking at potentially like a January 13th like start date for filming.
All right.
So hopefully that actually goes into production sooner rather than later.
Oh. Pattinson's out.
No, dude, I heard Pattinson's not out.
Is he in?
I heard he's in.
Oh, did they just adjust the filming dates?
Yeah, which seems to be what they're doing for everybody, dude. Ezra Miller's The Flash, it got moved around. He was rumored to have bounced out, and then he's now back in because they're gonna work around his Fantastic Beasts schedule. Yeah, so they're like clearly like stuck in that. They're like, fine, Fine, you go do whatever else.
Hey,
and you just come back to us because we need you. We're desperate.
I'll be the first to give DC shit.
I don't like
ultimately, yeah, I don't like him either. But ultimately, I hope that eventually they're able to make some good movies.
Damn.
Because the last thing I want to be is like, these guys are fucking shit constantly.
No, I want to see that. I want to see good movies. I want to see the Shazam family fulfill everybody's wish of the Rock's Black Adam being introduced in that universe.
Someday.
And they introduced that segue. Yeah.
We talked about this the other day. There was the released end credit scene that didn't make the cut or something like that. And they were like, it's like the little girl in her Shazam form.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's an extra seat.
Yep.
Whoever he is, he's going to be part of the family. I'm going to love him just as much as everybody else.
Nah, The Rock's going to show up and fucking give everybody a rock bottom. He's just Black Adam just sucker punches everybody. Rock bottom! Gives fucking Captain Marvel the people's elbow and calls it good.
No, dude. Licensing.
Oh, shit.
Give Shazam.
It's Shazam. Yo, dog, it's Shazam.
It's Shazam. Brie Larson is Captain Marvel.
Fair enough.
So, shall we get on to the real meat of this one? We're going to spend the last 20 minutes, hopefully, on this sucker. The Marvel Avengers game.
Oh, man.
By Square Enix.
Yes.
Something that we've been talking about, but haven't gotten time because we've gone on rants about DC for too long.
Well, it happens. It happened.
Hey-oh!
Okay,
that's
officially enough
this
of DC.
Is it.
No more DC.
No more DC for this podcast.
Okay, so Avengers...
But it's funny because we're saving this shit for the last, and it's Marvel this time.
Yeah. So Avengers they're making an Avengers game. It's in currently I think they released some some beta testing for it.
It was like so there's like beta. So they at E3 they had I'm an absolute fucking nerd.
No, please fill me.
So
fill me in on
E3 electronic. It started off as a big gaming convention. It's sort of dying off in recent years.
Oh, that sucks.
I'm not surprised. Like Sony for the first time didn't show up.
Nintendo, shit.
EA started their own convention.
What? So
yeah,
that's actually going to be taking away a lot of
Nintendo has just been doing their stuff online because, it's $500,000 to get a booth.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Nah, man.
So
I can think of way better ways to spend $500,000.
So Nintendo does a fucking live stream. They tell everyone when it's going to be. They have like 500,000 people watching it, and they do all the reveals there like every 3 months.
That's dope. That's a way better way of doing it.
Rather than doing it in a brick and mortar location. It's like why GameStop's dying. Like that's a rant to go on in and of itself for gaming.
Dude. The brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar's going away. I haven't bought a physical game in so long, but then at the same time, I'm buying fucking vinyls.
The last time I went to GameStop, I think I sold games to him because
me too.
That was it. I was just
I went there. I think because I was
for.
buying a new console. I think that's the only reason that they're still in business is that hardware sales rather than software.
Fair enough.
Like I was buying a new console and I was trading all my shit in from the old one.
Nice.
So Square Enix is you'll know them from like Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Very well known, relatively highly sought after brand name. They, at their presentation, they finished their entire show off with Marvel's Avengers. And like 2 years ago now, they released a teaser where it was like reassembled and like that sort of stuff. # reassembled and that shit.
I remember hearing about that.
And it was just like, it wasn't much. It was like, oh, there's Thor's hammer. Mm-hmm. There's like a broken arc reactor and Captain America's shield with
all just very ominous.
Very ominous, very dark. Yeah. It was like 30 seconds. You couldn't really tell what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
All that you really knew was like, oh, they're making an Avengers game. And finally, we got to see it. And fuck, is everyone disappointed?
Dude, yeah, let me tell you, man.
I'm going to come from a strictly technical perspective. Why everything in this game looks like shit. Hot take. Hot take. Whoa. God damn it. No. So, I don't know if you've heard of this, but Google Stadia.
No.
So Google is making their own gaming console.
Oh Jesus,
but
dude! Google's gonna fucking eat everybody's minds.
No.
You ever seen Batman Forever?
Google's screwing themselves here, dude.
Okay.
They're shooting themselves in the foot. Okay. I think I know where you're going with that. No.
Go.
But
okay, so they're making their own.
So
What's it called again?
It's called Google Stadia.
Stadia.
When you buy it, you get a controller and a thumb drive looking thing.
Okay.
You plug the thumb drive into a TV, a computer. It works on your phones. and it's only streaming. It's like Netflix for games.
Oh, wild.
But it is so reliant on latency. So here's the deal.
That's what that immediately was.
Here's the deal. If you have like everything's being routed, if you're playing on Xbox, everything is being routed through a central server. Everything's being, just as an example, you're playing Halo. It's going straight back to Microsoft in that case. So everybody is consolidated at that one server. Here, it's going to be completely off Wi-Fi. And everybody is relying on each other.
Yep.
So think if you're streaming a movie, the streaming service knows exactly what frame comes after each next one. If you're playing a game that you're streaming, it doesn't have any fucking idea what you're doing next.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no way of predicting what people are going to do.
And like the only demos they've showed off for Stadia were these like Assassin's Creed things that were really sort of staged and not that set up to be like practical. It's like theoretically to meet their highest standards of operating and running, you're gonna have to live in like San Francisco or like some crazy hub city that has Google Fiber.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to basically pay out the ass for the highest possible Wi-Fi you can just to play your little dick game.
But it's barely, it's even the best Wi-Fi where we live is barely enough.
That's fucking crazy.
You have to be running off a really fucking good Ethernet connection.
So is the Avengers game going to be coming out on that?
The Avengers is going to be coming out on that and every other console, including Nintendo Switch, which
I've heard the Switch is pretty dope, by the way.
The Switch is great. I actually love that console. I don't own one,
get my
but
hands on one.
I think I'm going to buy one.
Yeah.
I've heard I've played it a few times. It's a lot of fun. I love the idea of it, but it doesn't, like the performance of an Xbox One or a PS4 is really high. They can render really almost photoreal graphics at this point. Stadia is not going to be able to do that for most people, and the Switch is a glorified Nintendo DS. It's like really fucking good, and Nintendo is great at making games for it, but it doesn't have the technical chops of an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, or like a high-end PC.
I feel like that's been Nintendo's thing though.
They don't give a fuck. Like
their big systems are no longer a thing. It's all about like their kind of little portable systems.
Yeah.
And they've always been great about portable systems.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
and they
shout out to the Game Boy.
The 3DS is still the best-selling console ever. 44 million people bought that console. I know. So they had to develop something that would be able to run smoothly on everything. Okay. Rather than like you see a game that's being released for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Look at like Sony's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's a fucking gorgeous game.
It is, yeah,
it was made specifically just for PlayStation though.
Yeah.
And it milks all the power that console has.
Damn.
Here you have to make.
That's actually good. Okay, I see
they'd
what
have
you're
to.
kind of going
Yeah,
with.
they had to make a game that could be ran on a portable console, a console that live streams everything, and all the super powerful stuff.
It's like Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. You're trying to jam too much into one fucking game. Like,
exactly.
You're trying to get too much out of one fucking thing.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be shit.
Like the character models don't look that good.
They look crappy, dude. They're all I heard like the one thing I heard about Captain America was like, yeah, he was supposed to be modeled more after like a modern soldier. And I was like, what? Nobody's asking for that. He's a fucking superhero.
He looks all gray. Like,
dude,
his suit is not blue and it's barely blue.
It looks so. Like,
the only one that looks decent is Tony Stark, and that's because he is a normal dude and it's an Iron Man armor.
Yeah,
like you can't if you fuck that up, you are the shittiest game designer ever.
Fair
and
enough.
The Hulk looks fine.
Yeah, the whole. I mean, because
it's the Hulk.
It's a big green guy.
It's a big green guy with purple pants.
Yeah. Have you heard anything about like the plot or anything for it?
I've not. All I saw was they released that tech demo with and the stage demo, and it showed like Captain America dies in it. She's not dead.
So I found a little clip of it. I found like the actual thing that they put out. It says Marvel's Avengers begins during A-Day. A celebratory day for Avengers coinciding with the unveiling of their new headquarters and helicarrier. After a tragedy resulting in death and destruction, the Avengers are blamed for the incident. 5 years later, with all the superheroes outlawed and the world in peril, the only hope is to reassemble Earth's mightiest heroes. So it has.
I mean, like,
the most generic sounding plot.
Yeah, that's a very generic.
They're
plot.
they're not sticking to any sort of
there's no comic run.
There's no comic related thing. There's no
that's
MCU related
very broad
thing.
though.
It's very broad. And
I will
very
say
open.
the one good thing. What I've heard about it is it's gonna be similar in function to Destiny.
Yeah,
a game that I love. Don't at me. Destiny's a fucking great game now. It's been shitty in the past.
I don't know anything about it really. So
yeah, people get
say.
pissed whenever you say you like Destiny online.
Shit. Really?
Yeah, that's a conversation to have on a gaming podcast if we eventually do that. But pretty much means that the characters are going to be able to be modified. You'll be able to find different costumes. Mm-hmm. It's going to be an evolving world per se. So there is an opportunity that they make this platform and they periodically release we're doing a story in the game based on this comic run.
Yeah.
We're introducing this character, which I think that has potential.
Yeah, and
started off as an issue 0.
I'm not I'm not a very big gamer, but the most recent game I did get the new Spider-Man game, and one thing I did notice about it was I noticed a lot of things about it, but I noticed that they have that kind of thing. That's what different storylines. What are they called?
Yeah.
DLCs or something?
Yeah, downloadable content.
Downloadable content. So
DLC.
Right?
Whatever.
I'm so out of it.
I'm getting semantics. There's a Silver Sable one.
Yeah.
There's a...
but that's definitely what they could do with the Avengers game.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you're saying. And
I think Destiny's done that to success, doing to some form of success.
Yeah.
That specifically as of late, they've been doing every 3 months, having a little here's a little thing. Might be some little story arc, but then it's broadly hinting towards a big thing coming.
Fair enough.
So I feel like that could be successful, but what really pisses people off about this Avengers game is just it doesn't look good.
No.
And it doesn't pay respect to what we have became formerly known as the Avengers. We want to see fucking Chris Evans. We want to see I'll be the first.
But that's a dangerous road to go down.
It is. But we want to see the more film accurate costumes.
Yeah.
I think that's more so where I'm.
We want to see that is true.
Where it's regal, it's cool, but it's grounded.
Yeah.
There's Captain America in the fucking movies. He doesn't not look like a soldier, but he still looks like Captain America.
Totally. He may not have the wings on his fucking he doesn't have
gear.
He doesn't have
he does. So.
Well, I guess he kind of does. But
still,
he doesn't but you know it's Captain America. You know it's a superhero.
In this case, you're that's a dude wearing a bulletproof vest with a fucking star on it.
Yeah,
that's it.
So hopefully they just learn that real fast and start cleaning it up. Because I said, it doesn't sound like they're going to be unveiling it for a little while.
Dude, no, it's got a release date.
It's got a release date of fucking May 15th to next year. So
it sounds like a while. They're not going to be able to change much.
I don't think they're going to be able to change much. But
they might be able to address some little things, but with the huge development pipeline, they said this has been in development for a long time. So,
I don't think this is going to make my list, but what? Just this because it's spurred by thought. What's your favorite superhero game that you've played?
Okay.
Because I know what mine is in terms of
the new Spider-Man's really good. Yeah. I briefly borrowed a friend's PS4 to play it. I don't own a PS4 though, so I haven't really had a chance to. I'm an Xbox guy.
I'm an Xbox guy.
Always have been. Fuck, I know PlayStation's winning this console shit right now. Hey, Xbox is gonna. It's a repeating cycle. Just for a non-gamer right here. There's the repeating cycle of the console wars. It's every other generation, The Xbox 360 was really good, so the Xbox One came out. It was a bit too high priced, and PlayStation dropped their price pretty hard. It's looking like the same shit's gonna happen, except the other way around the next time.
Yeah.
And it's the same fucking thing that happened with the Xbox and the original PlayStation. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
It's a repeating cycle consistently.
Yeah. We'll see though.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
But that's a tangent. No. So my favorite comic book game. Dude, X-Men Origins Wolverine had a really fucking good comic book tie-in.
What?
Yeah, better than the movie.
Well, anything.
But then also there's a Deadpool game in 2013, 2014 really? That I was way too young to be playing at that point. I think I had to have been fucking
Deadpool's?
15.
Okay.
And it was very like hard R Deadpool. Though.
Like basically like Deadpool meets like Conqueror's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but I think there's one like there were a bunch of X-Men in it too.
What was the X-Men? What was the Wolverine origins? What was it about?
It was less so the movie. It was more so him like going through all the different eras from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, wild! Okay,
And then like
so I could see that being really fucking
towards
cool.
the end, you get into the movie itself, which even in that case, it does a fucking better job
than the movie.
And one of my favorite fucking parts of that game was the blob boss fight.
Oh,
is so fun.
That's so.
And it's so weird because it was so fucking hand-fisted in the movie and shitty.
Yeah, it's so bad in the movie.
Yeah,
but that's funny. That's funny. Oh man, I didn't even realize that they made a game.
And then also there was the Captain America First Avenger game. I never played it, but supposedly it's really good.
Nice.
Which that was from that era where the Marvel movies were really trying to push those video game tie-ins.
Yeah. And
there was an Iron Man one too.
I mean, I feel like everybody was trying to do video game tie-ins to their movies.
And then they moved to mobile, and it wasn't good either. And they gave up.
I think my favorite game is definitely the Ultimate Alliance.
Oh, dude, those games are great. I was forgetting about those.
Those games are so fucking
where you can play
fun.
like all the Avengers.
You can be Wolverine, you can be Spider-Man, you can be fucking...
Luke Cage is in it.
Luke Cage is in it. You can be Daredevil, you can be fucking Captain America, you could be like...
Hey, there are those
a number of characters.
There are those
man.
old Spider-Man games where just like a bunch of fucking people running around New York.
Ultimate Spider-Man for Xbox, the original Xbox, was so fucking fun. That was the first, game that you could climb up. You could really climb up. Maybe not the first game, but you could really... I remember you could really climb up to the top of those fucking, like, the Empire State Building and just dive right the fuck off. And the web swinging in that was so fucking dope.
But one thing that fucking always pissed me off, and this might be a bit of me being a kid not really knowing how to play the game, but just sort of just like hitting random buttons.
Fair enough.
When I was playing that, I always fucking ran into webs.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think my biggest thing, and it's the same thing that I have with the movies, any comic book movie. At the end of every fucking movie, I just, no matter how good or bad it was, I just think it's fucking awesome that they're mainstream now, that they're in that everybody's digging them. That's kind of how I feel about like the video games too. Maybe not this Avengers game because it just it looks janky as fuck.
It looks. It might be great. We haven't seen enough to tell.
I remember being the only kid reading fucking comics at school, and I just think it's fucking awesome that people are. It's really mainstream.
It's a part of pop culture.
Yeah.
There's if before we're out of time, I want to give them credit one time. The voice cast they have for these fucking characters is top notch. It's like Troy Baker and Nolan North are great voice actors. They've done a bunch of really cool stuff. Troy Baker was the Joker in a ton of different Batman games. When Mark Hamill wasn't the Joker, it was Troy Baker.
Really? In those Batman games?
Yeah.
I never got a chance to play those.
And he is I think is Captain America.
Really?
Yeah. And Nolan North, who I really like, he's voiced a bunch of characters. He voiced Nathan Drake in Uncharted, which Tom Holland is going to be playing the live action interpretation of.
Oh, I heard about that.
Very exciting. That's a Nolan North character. He is going to be playing Tony Stark. So, and the rest of the voice cast is really good too. Those two guys just stick out to me because I've played the games they're both from. But
that's cool.
I think there's hope, but for now it just looks sort of meh.
It does. I'm glad that there's hope. It's like a good Avengers story.
Yeah.
There's hope. There's hope going into that terrible fucking mystery that they're about to
unravel.
With. But
there's a very real chance it'll just be shit.
It could also still get turned around at the last minute and just be shit.
Meh.
Because there are some stories that end terribly.
Oh
This game's story might just end terribly.
I have a slight feeling, and they're putting out all these press releases being like, we're going to eclipse the success of Spider-Man.
Bullshit, dude.
Bullshit. That game is too good.
That game is marinara, dude.
You've already said that twice in one podcast.
Yeah, that's fine, man. It's rich. So I guess I just want to end this with one shout out to fucking San Diego Comic-Con, dude.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm a nerd every year. I don't ever go. It seems like, but I do try and eat up as much news as I can.
I will be
about
perfectly
that shit,
fine eating up the news from a distance.
Absolutely.
I might go to Emerald City Comic Con at some point.
Definitely.
But
I think
San Diego,
I think it would be nice.
Like a
next year.
clusterfuck of epic proportions.
Yeah, totally. So next week, let's talk about. We're going to talk about Stranger Things.
Yes,
for sure.
We'll see if
talk
we get
about any San Diego Comic Con news.
Yeah. Hey, quick last bit. Thor 4, Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Boom.
Thor 4, first fucking single or solo superhero to get 4 movies.
Yeah, it's
Good
exciting.
Also, shout out to Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Kevin Smith's he's dropping a trailer at Comic Con for it in Hall H right
this
before
earlier.
Marvel.
I have absolutely no fucking idea what you're
Which
talking about.
I'm gonna have to educate this motherfucker on. So
I'm gonna make you watch Mission Impossible while watching that.
Snoochie Boochies. This has been another episode of fucking Matinee Edition.
Whoop.
Go out there and get after it, I guess.
Get after it. Drink some Aqua Cola and use the brain.
Use the brain.